Hi, my name is Aidan and welcome to another Golf Predictor tutorial. In this video I shall be building on my previous tutorial on the prediction rankings page and talking about the performance likelihood. If you haven't seen that particular tutorial, you might want to look it up. So what is this performance likelihood? As you can see on the prediction rankings page, it is that colourful column in various shades of green, the second in from the right. So to explain what this performance likelihood is, I shall have to go back to the beginning and where it came from. To do that, we would look at the Other Stats Winners Form page. Okay, I've cheated a little bit because I have that page ready on another tab. Okay, so the Tournament Winners Form page shows you for your selected year and tour all the winners in that particular season and their previous form. Now the form it shows is dependent on what you pick in this drop down box. If you choose all tournaments, which is the default, you will see the golfer's last 10 events regardless of tournament type or what season it was in. You can also pick historical, which just picks out his last 10 results on the same course or at the same tournament, or you can pick similar, which picks out his last 10 results in similar type tournaments. So if it's a regular event, he has won. It'll show how he got on in the 10 previous regular tournament events and so on. I also color coded this table, as you can see there, with red representing wins, yellows top 10s, greys means a finished event, so they made the cut but they didn't finish in the top 10, and brown means a withdrawal or non-finish. This color coding allowed me to pick out a pattern very easily, and if you look there as I scroll down the page, you can see what I saw. There's a tremendous amount of yellow boxes, i.e. top 10 finishes for winners. So you can see that for the most part you can see a winner bubbling up and before they actually win the event. Now there'll always be some players that come out of nowhere and win, such as for example Gomez and Lingmerth there, and maybe Harrington further on down the page, but in over 90% of the cases you can see that the golfer has had good performances leading up to their eventual win. On closer examination, I found that if you looked at the previous 6 tournaments for a golfer and analysed them, you will find at least one top 20 or better for that golfer before they won in the majority of cases. So for example, this corresponds to everything from T5 onwards. So if you look for all the winners in this 2015 season up as far as the Travelers Championship, you can see from T5 onwards that most of them have at least one top 10, and if they don't, they have one top 20, such as example there James Hahn has a top 20, and of those that don't, Gomez, Lingmerth and Harrington, and also Matt Every I think as well. If you change the top 10 form to analyze to historical or similar, you would find that you would only be left with Lingmerth and Harrington, who had no discernible form to speak of. But for the other 24 golfers, that's about 93% of the winners. You can actually see them coming to some extent because they've had at least one top 20 finish in their previous 6 events. That's the 6 previous events when you look at all tournaments, the previous 6 events historically, and the previous 6 events in similar form. So I wrote an algorithm that would go through each golfer in the field for an upcoming event and look at his previous 6 events in the current season on the same course or in the same tournament and in the last 6 previous events. And when I come across a top 20, a top 10, a top 5 or a win, the golfer gets a certain amount of points. So when that all adds up, it generates a percentage value. Like the GP score, this performance likelihood has been designed to produce a percentage. So, knowing all that, let's go back to the prediction rankings page and have a look at the performance likelihood column. You can see that each golfer's percentage likelihood is color coded, with deeper shades of green meaning a higher percentage, and a higher percentage means a higher likelihood of that golfer putting in a performance and possibly even winning. Because of the nature of the algorithm, it is more accurate when there is a full season history, full course history, and full similar history. And by that I mean that the golfer has played at least 6 tournaments in a particular season, has 5 or 6 tournament results on the same course, and has played in 5 or 6 similar type events. Because the golfer is most likely to have no course form rather than season or similar form, I have added a pop-up to the performance likelihood column to show you how many tournaments the golfer has played on that course. So for example, if you look at Paul Casey, who's got an extremely high number of almost 59% for his performance likelihood, you see that he hasn't played any events on this course. So, because there is no course history to go on, the algorithm has to make do with his similar and season form, and does tend to overestimate the value in this case. Now, just yesterday I have actually updated the algorithm to make the overestimation smaller, or get rid of it entirely, so from future tournaments on you should see less of this item. So what you should do is, when you're looking at the performance likelihood scores, if you see any large values and you hover over and you see that the golfer hasn't played on the course, then you should factor that in. So I'm often asked, well, what is the difference between the performance likelihood and the overall GP score? Well, the difference is very simple. For the performance likelihood, all bad results are thrown out in the analysis, and only top 20s in their previous 6 events that season on the same course or in the same tournament, or in the 6 previous similar events are analysed. So that helps you identify streaky golfers. Whereas the GP score looks at good and bad results as well as various other secret metrics to produce a more balanced number for more consistent golfers. So that's why you often see that a golfer relatively low down in the rankings might have a particularly high GP score. And if you look at their results, you'll probably see that they have got a few top 10s interspersed with several blowouts, so they might have finished near the bottom of the field. So those are ignored when you're in your performance likelihood, but they are counted for your overall GP score. So the performance likelihood is great for spotting good value golfers in fantasy competitions who are on streaks and might produce a result, whereas the overall GP score is more suited to spot consistent golfers that. Assuming full course and season history, any golfer with a PL of over about 40% is well worth considering for your fantasy or betting needs. Any golfer with a value over 50% is an excellent choice, and any golfer over 60%, well, you could almost put your house on him. Remember, I did say almost. Okay, that's about it for performance likelihood. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks very much for watching.